This is a public service message to the Canadian energy sector. I've rolled up my sleeves so I can appeal to your inherent hard work ethic that comes from Alberta. The West rocks. Got an office in Calgary. I love going to Calgary. I love the nature. Albertans are environmentalists, but when it comes to Canadian energy, they have a giant blind spot, and you've had your head up your ass for the last couple decades. You spend millions of dollars trying to sell Canadian energy, but it's been corrupted by your obsession with beating a liberal environmentalist argument, right? Canadian oil could easily be messaged as the safest, cleanest, and most ethical oil in the world. But you're too busy fighting arguments with liberals over things that don't really matter. And, you know, I want to talk to liberals who are against Albertan oil in the pipeline. I would agree that we need to find alternative energy sources so we don't destroy our planet. That's what intelligent people do. We take care of what we're given, right? It's called stewardship. So oil was the easiest way to consume energy back 100 years ago, and it has remained so for a long period of time. As a species, we need to evolve and get a better way to do it, right? So we don't pollute the air. That's a fact. Another fact is we're going to consume however many 100 million barrels of oil a day, whether you like it or not. And what I want to ask the activists and the Canadians who get in the way of a pipeline in Canada is, if those barrels are going to be consumed anyhow, doesn't it make sense that the dollars go to countries that are environmentally responsible, have worker laws that protect workers, that aren't dictators, and that can put some of that money back into the environment? Just think of it. You might not like the pipeline, but regardless of that, a certain amount of oil is going to be consumed every day anyhow. Why in the world don't we have a pipeline from Alberta to British Columbia so we can sell Canadian oil to China? And then the Chinese money would come here as opposed to Russia or Saudi Arabia. Now you say Canadian oil is dirty, but you're not putting in all the factors to what makes something dirty. At least in Canada, when we take oil out, it's monitored. We know what's actually happening. We're not throwing waste in rivers. Like, we're a responsible democracy, right? When you send oil money to a dictatorship, it might be cleaner to come out of the ground, but what happens after it's out of the ground is dirty. The money goes to human rights violations. It goes to promote conflicts. It goes in the lines of dictators' pockets. I'm sure if you had a comprehensive calculus on positive versus negativity, we could easily message Canada as the cleanest, most ethical oil in the world, right? But liberals want to stop a pipeline because a pipeline is bad, but there's no logic. Why can't we ship oil from Alberta to Quebec? Why shouldn't Canada be self-sufficient? We're sitting on one of the largest oil reserves in the world. Why are we buying oil in Quebec from Saudi Arabia? Ask yourself this, environmentalists. Why are we consuming oil from Saudi Arabia, right? Which punishes women with death for adultery. And yet we will send billions of dollars there because you don't want a pipeline from Alberta? Is that, you know, there's also a lobbying element to it. Quebec dock workers get paid a huge amount of money. That union is very influential in government from unloading the Saudi Arabian oil. So is that a reason to send money to Saudi Arabia? And then we go back to Alberta. And so Alberta is so busy being angry at the rest of Canada, why don't we come up with a process that shares the benefits of oil? Okay, the oil was in Alberta. Alberta wasn't pioneered by people who were forward thinking and saying, hey, let's go to Alberta because we know there's going to be a lot of oil here. And so inherently, they deserve all of the benefits, right? You have to admit to yourself, Albertans, there's an element of luck to the fact that your province has the largest storage of oil, right? So if you want to be profitable, take a bit of a haircut, share the wealth with everybody else, help the dockers in Quebec, right? Be compensated for, you know, the work they would have gotten working with dirty Saudi Arabian oil, and share the wealth. I would also say to the oil industry, especially in Alberta, why not be bold and dynamic? Stop putting up billboards telling you, essentially an audience of your own tribe members, how great you are. You have to engage with people who are in the middle. You have to engage with people who don't believe in what you're saying, right? You're just messaging to converted people and you're burning millions of dollars. right? Why not be bold? Why not invite some environmentalists in to Alberta and actually hear what they have to say? Why not make a strong argument to the environmentalists saying, look, Canadian oil actually does less damage to the planet than Saudi Arabian oil. But we'll go a step further. We'll take 5% of the gross revenue that comes from oil, right? And rather than spend it on promoting how good Alberta is, we'll buy up rainforest in the Amazon, put it in a trust so it can never be cut down for palm oil, right? 5%. If you were to take 5% of the gross revenue of Canadian oil and buy up Amazonian rainforest, tell me there's not any celebrity in the world who wouldn't say Canadian oil is the best. Tell me you couldn't win the war for the hearts and minds of the people who matter in the middle, right? You're not being imaginative because you're focused on being right because you don't like liberals. And liberals are focused on being right because they don't like conservatives and oil. And the result is our country is ridiculous that we can't ship oil from Alberta on a pipeline to BC that can go to China, and we can't build a pipeline across Canada so our nation can be energy self-sufficient. For God's sakes, people on the left and right, pull your heads out of your ass and start discussing solutions that help us. And what I can say to the oil industry is, give me a call. Because, geez, we can knock this out of the park, especially with what's going on with Russia right now. Canadian oil should be the best oil on the planet, hands down, and our country should be benefiting from that. But as long as you're fighting old battles that don't matter, we're never going to get where we could. Until next time, it's the Rogue Lawyer. Take it easy.